Do you like them tales where noble knights save the world, win the love of a beautiful woman? Well, if that's what you're looking for, then piss off back to your mummy, 'cause this story ain't one of them. For starters, I'm 18 assault charges short of being a noble knight. And for some reason, my sparkling personality attracts women like shit on a stick. And now I find myself leading an army of incompetent knuckleheads to the Western Marches. The biggest shithole in this shitty nation. But at least it keeps us away from the Crovan scum. Now if you'll excuse me, I need to get moving. My balls have disappeared into my body. My name is Hans Heimer, first sergeant in the Koth army. And there are shit times ahead.
Okay, hello everybody, this is Emiliano, and what you just saw is a temporary version of our introduction. It's still missing 30 seconds more or less in the middle and 4 or 5 scenes, but Julia is working on that, and we should have it ready like pretty soon. This is the very first public viewing, let's say, of a beta of Empires in Ruins that includes battle maps and management maps. There is also part of the campaign, part of the dialogues. I will let you go through the dialogues quite slowly when we play, so you can also read it. First of all, I really need to thank Laurie and Danny, because they did an awesome work of testing already, and thanks to them this version is at least semi-stable. There are still fixes necessary, there are still things to change, but it's playable at least. And actually Laurie is the only one that managed to finish the full beta, that is like 5 maps, and she also managed to tame all the provinces in the bit. But let's start. This is basically where the first meeting between Sergeant Heimer and Corporal Frederick Turg, that is the helper. Sergeant Heimer is your character. Sergeant Heimer is like a grumpy, alcoholic sergeant that is not really the best military leader, most probably, but he has been chosen for this campaign, and therefore that's all you have to control. We do skip the tutorial for now. Yeah, Turd is not happy about it. Okay, so basically from here we get taken into the very first introductory battle. It's a fairly simple one, but it starts showing a bit of the game engine, of the battle engine. This is your headquarters. This is the one that you have to protect against only 7 in this case waves of enemies. Here the cooldowns abilities are missing because your character level is still too low to have them unlocked. With the right click you bring up this building menu. You see most of the stuff is locked at the moment. You can only build scout towers or guard towers. Scout towers, they basically show you in their area which enemies will be coming. In here it's pretty straightforward where to build one, because the castle is here and there is only one path to the castle. And guards tower are like the most basic defense towers. We build 2 of them here. We can change the speed when nothing is happening. We can zoom in and see them working. Okay, and that's it. So basically now we cannot build anything anymore. We don't have any more resources. The resources are produced. Gold is produced by killing enemies, and the other resources are produced, you see, 5 units every 4 seconds, and then you can increase this production and decrease the time with the research. If you see the speed changing, it's because I'm using the key from the keyboard to change it once in a while. Here we have some information, we have some scout report on the enemies. It's like dogs, mangy hounds. They basically, when they do bite, they cause continuous damage for a few seconds. That's quite bad. That means if they bite a worker, the worker will probably die in not so long. But the towers, they don't have any problem with that. Okay. And we can already start a new wave to get some more bonus gold. We can increase the fire rate, the range, and the damage. You see here, we only see these paths of the incoming waves near the scout tower. You see, we don't have enough gold, and now we have enough food. Okay, do some killing. Yes. Okay, still not enough, but if we skip, yes. And we can build a new one, and we build it here. So that if some enemies passing through the first wave of defenses, yes, then we increase. It's quite important to have a high fire rate if possible here or here. Yes. Okay, yes. Oh, yes. This is a pretty easy map, as you can see, like it's mostly a warm-up map, let's say. And you see the towers are raising, like you see here, the full modifiers that they are getting out of rank. The rank is based on experience, on kills. This tower already killed 24 enemies, and morale is influencing the chance of double damage or half damage. Then you can also pick the shooting mode for the towers if you need, or you can decide if you want them to lock on target or not. In this case we leave it like default value. This is a sapper. Let me show you a sapper. The sappers, they are these guys, and they can dig tunnels and bypass your defenses, or open new paths, for example through the forest, or blow items away that are closing a secret path. And they do throw Molotov bombs, and when they die they do explode, causing additional damage. Like here we were pretty lucky because our defenses are nicely set up and they didn't cause much damage. Speed up a bit. Here we see the incoming enemies. Here we see all the information. These guys are also throwing hatchet, but they don't cause too much damage. Okay, they don't cause too much damage, but they still do cause damage. The guards tower are pretty fragile. They are like the most basic towers that you have, so they don't resist much to attacks. You can repair them, and a worker will be sent. If they get destroyed, you can still rebuild from the ruins, but you will lose all the experience and all the upgrades also. So it's better if they don't get destroyed. Yeah, another sapper is coming. I'm gonna check when he's throwing the bomb. Oh. He gets killed. Yeah, okay, but we made it like pretty easy. Last one. So we won. As you can see, 3 stars, maximum of the kills, full castle health, damage taken, damage repaired, with some random information to have like a bit of an idea on the statistics of the battle. And that's it, so we return to the campaign map. Okay, here we have a new dialogue with Heimer in third. Heimer is like usually much more interested in his drinking than in the battle, but he still has to cope with the battles. And here it's basically when they do realize that they don't have enough men for a full war, because they have been sent here with like a really ragtag army, and they are trying to, you see, we don't have enough troop for an all-out attack. They are trying to figure out how to rescue this area and what to do. And so Turd is coming out with some ideas that obviously Heimer is not like it. And then Heimer is coming out with the same ideas, and of course he's liking them because he's having those ideas. Okay, so now we are onto the, let's call it Forix map. This whole area once belonged to your kingdom, the Principality of Koth. On this side there is the Krovan Kingdom. And right now all this area is rebelling, so you lost contact with all of your provinces. The only one that you kept is Kalmar here, the one where you just fought. And so you don't know much about what's in the other provinces at this point. The first thing to do is to send some scouts, for example. What we do is selecting the provinces that we want to scout. We could attack directly, could get intelligence, but we don't have any because we didn't scout it yet. So we send the scouts, and we send them from the only province that we have. And it will take one turn, and we have a 53% chance of success. And at the same time, something is happening. Oh, and here we are meeting Sergeant Matthias Bunstenberg. He is the chief of the secret police and the scouts. They don't really like each other with Heimer, but you will have time to discover that. But Matthias is pretty skilled, despite being possibly not the most pleasant person to deal with. And so they do exchange some pleasantries. I said that I was going to give you some time to read the dialogues, but you don't want to read all the dialogues now. I think it makes much more sense to read them when you are playing it. Okay. That's it. And we got our scout report also. We got a partial success. And that's very sad, because we didn't get any information about the province defense. That is what we're interested in. So we should send the scouts again. Meanwhile, our sergeant got some experience point, so he leveled up. Oh, okay. Some news, scouting launched. Okay, full scouting success. Now we know everything. We know the defense of the province, we know the population, we know all of that. Then, okay, now something else. You have some officers. Right now you start with 3 officers. Probably the full game we start without officers, or maybe with just 1 officer. And this officer you can employ 2 ways. You can either have them as governors of your provinces, and later we will explain what does bring us an advantage, or you can set them as member of the battle board, that is the officer that you are taking to battle, and they will give some bonuses to the battle itself. All of them, they have like some variants. You see, most of them, they have the loyalty unknown. You will have to investigate them or have a really high empathy value with Heimer. But let's put a couple of them in our battle board. Yeah, we see the modifiers that they will bring. This one. And then this one. And the other one we can set as governor here in Kalmair. Joachim Bjaken. Wait a second, what did I say? Okay, he's not the best governor ever, like so. Here we see the stats of the province. If you click on them, you get like some more details on the modifiers and everything. And here you see, when we over the officer, you see the modifiers to that. We assign him, and this is a quite important thing. This is basically the distribution of your men between army and guards. If you distribute them to the army, you will get higher attack and defense values. If you distribute them to the guards, basically you will increase your authority. That will help you keep the province tamed, but at the same time you will lower a lot your attack skills. What the attack skill is need for is that when you do attack, you do compare your attack skill versus the defense skill of the target province. If your is higher, then you will get some advantages in battle. That is, more time between the waves, you will deal more damage, enemy will be slightly slower, they will have maybe some less health point, just to justify that tactical advantage that you have. If the defense of the enemy is higher, you will have some maluses, of course. Leave it as it is for now. And before we attack, let's go visiting the research. And here we are getting some wisdom out of the Sergeant Heimer every time we have a loading screen. Okay, this is one of my favorite characters, I have to confess. This is Gottfried Megla, chief engineer in service of His Highness. So he's basically the guy that is handling research. Research in the Parisian ruins is a bit different from a classic 4X because you are not building a civilization here. You are not like crossing areas while evolving your country. In here, research is mostly focused on battle. And on battle means unlocking towers, for example. Here we have catapult tower. Let's research the catapult tower because it's a good start. Or you can increase your castle. You can unlock some special ability for your castle. You can have some buildings that, for example, do produce more resources or that give you some other advantages. Then you can have some modifiers. For example, a +% speed to your workers and your soldiers, or +3% damage to your towers, all this kind of stuff. But here we start with a catapult. Let's have okay. Oh, again. This is basically Wunstenberg explaining you the same thing that I did explain you about the province. We can skip the dialogue at the moment. But because we are waiting for the catapult tower to be researched. Meanwhile, we can see that okay, maybe we need to raise a bit, because you see rebellious activity is increasing. I told you he's not the best officer. Okay, we have one rebellious event. Okay, authority reduced by 1% for 3 turns. Okay, it's pretty soft. One other thing that you can do and you have to do in the provinces, right now the officer is building for you. The officer AI is taking some decision. We can. It took like the possible worst one at the moment, but we start with a guard post because we want to increase the authority, and pastures because we want to increase food production, and then espionage is also pretty good. Then after that we go for attack, then for resources, and then for defense. Let's say this is a good first setup. Another event, writings on the wall. Someone wants to join. An officer wants to join, but we already have too many officers for our leadership value. And we did step on horse dung. Okay, plus 15% luck for a few turns. In here, unappropriate songs. Okay, we did finish researching the catapult. Okay, one turn, we can change here. Okay, we can restore a bit. Plus 5. Confirm, okay. Let's attack. Okay, this is the battle board. Here we see all the modifiers that we do have. For example, these ones are from the officers in the battle board. That means that one of them is giving us some modifiers to cost in stone. One of them is making us produce more stone during the battle. One of them is increase the fire rate. One of them is having us get more gold from kills. This is the modifiers that we get from the difference between our attack and the enemy defense. We have a slight advantage, it says. These ones are the values from Heimer skills. And here is a bit of the total. So we have a bit more time between waves than usual. Our morale is pretty high. We have some solid modifiers here. Then let's fight. Here we go, a new map. Okay, let's get. And you see now we have the catapult unlocked. I know these maps by heart, so like don't be surprised that I already know basically where to build everything. Later on, you can also increase through research the number of workers, so that you don't have only 2. You see, because otherwise here you need to wait for all of them to be back, and then one of them it goes to build a third thing, and that would be the same with repairing or upgrading towers. Upgrading, right now we don't have any upgrade unlocked, but as you can see you can select the tower and choose some upgrade path. Some are more focused on damage, some are more focused on robustness, or some are more focused on speed. And let's get started. We usually start with dogs that are pretty soft. The dogs are in the catapult because the catapult takes a lot of time to rotate. And the catapult, for example, you can lock the shooting place. Now, let's say we want to shoot only here, and the catapult will be only shooting when an enemy is entering this area, for example. Might be, may not be a good idea, it depends. And we want to build a tower. We build it here. No, I think it was not a good idea to lock it there. We want to shoot a bit more like this. No! Okay, one of them made it. Wow. And also stealing you some money then. We need to build a third guard tower here. I need to play the battles like a fast mode because I played this battle, I don't know, like 1,000 times. I can't really play slow anymore after this many times. And looking at the game visuals, everything that you see is in 2D. So basically what we did is George made the 3D models, like pretty high resolution and definition ones. Then he did render them into 2D sprites. That's the same for the enemies also, but the enemies, of course, all the frames are animated from the animation. are rendered, and same with the cutting, for example, shooting, and then we do use everything in 2D as they did in the late 90s. It's a terrible workflow because it's really slow and time consuming and effort consuming, but we personally do really like how it looks like. We think it's quite unusual for the nowadays games, and that's why it's a bit more interesting for us. And now we see a sapper coming, and this is one of the skills that I did describe before about the sappers. Look what he's doing. Up, tunnel. So we can't shoot him while he's digging a tunnel. At some point he will have to come out. Here. Oi. Yes. So we managed to kill him before he did throw the bomb. But still, we still got hit once at least. That's disappointing. I should not like, given how much I should be knowing this. Nah. And you can see the base towers, that is guards towers, they can only have 2 upgrades per statistic. Like then these towers, they can have 4, and then there is one more tier of towers that can have 5. You see, for example, the guards tower can upgrade to composite bow and crossbow. Let's try the crossbow. The crossbow here is displayed later, as long as it's locked, it's not going to be shown. It has some special abilities that you can buy, and then it can be upgraded further to sniper or repeating crossbow tower. And all of them, they have like increased statistics, higher experience maximum level, and maximum number of upgrades higher. Let's get this thing sorted. Right now the map is set to medium difficulty. That I think it's pretty easy, even for someone that didn't play it before. Like it's not unfeasible to beat it. And the hard mode is really hard. Like hard mode we prefer because it's beatable. Like Botlori and Danny managed to beat it, but it needs some training. And you see here the tower is getting damaged. But at this point our defenses are set. I don't think they should be able to come to the castle anymore. But you see, it's annoying this tunnel because now all other enemies can use it also. See the enemy passing through the tunnel. Yeah, this tower, for example, now is in ruins, and but we'll kill them all anyway. So I guess this is one last thing, and when we conquer one province, we can actually choose if to pillage. So to get more loot, you see, and also to kind of crash the rebellion a bit more, but we also destroy a few things, or we can choose to enter the province like without bloodshed. We do go for the bloodshed solution now. And that's it. So you see now we own 2 provinces, and we did open up a new area that we can scout and investigate. Now for a while in here everything is still burning. When it will stop burning, then we can manage our provinces again. And here we have a summary of the provinces. Follow me here. This building as a military settlement, as a governor. This is the value. Here, for example, they are starving. So that's it for now, I would say. There is a lot more things, but I think it's pointless that we do explain all of them in one round, like it would be taking too long. I hope you did like what you did see up until now, and see you next time, guys. Bye!